Proline will celebrate 20 years next year. We started in 2006. And our aim was, when we were starting this project, was to help develop the game in Uganda. After realizing that there were so many gaps, especially the youth football wing was non-existent, and we kept wondering where the footballers that play for Uganda Cranes, where they come from. The people who are playing for Villa, KCC, where are they coming from? So we wanted to fill that gap by starting a pilot project that others would look at, copy, and also replicate. We believe in the youth very much, and for us, we start from the ground, building up. We are continuing to look for the modern ways of developing football and talent. And once we get an idea, we jump on it and we start on it. Right now, we have a senior team that plays in the Kampala region. But of course, a few years back, we had climbed all the way to the Premier League. We even played in the continent. We won a double in 2019. But after that, we had some kind of a patch, which we believe was not self-inflicted, but it was a bit political. But that is part of life, and also in football it happens. So we are now playing in the Kampala Region League, but continuing with building a strong foundation for the youth. We have 10 teams in the institution, from under 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. We have a senior team, and then also we have a legends team, and also we have a veterans team. So now we are continuing on our promise to continue developing. We are very happy with the results that we have gotten over the years. Nobody has produced more players, given players first chances than Proline. We still think up to now we are the only club where a child can come from at 4 years and go through the same ranks of the same club and reaches the top. We have done that with the likes of Alpha Thierry, who came at 3 years, Nuruddin Bunju, Brighton Ukani, who came at 8 years, Ivan Mayanja, Arthur Chigundu, and so many of boys who came at below 10 and grew through the ranks, and now they are playing at the very top. We are happy that even as recent as 2 years, 1 year ago, players like Hakim Chiwanuka have made it to the national team and then to the professional ranks. When we see Rogers Mato, 5 years ago, he was playing in this academy, but now he's a mainstay for the Uganda national team. We want to continue with doing our bit. Of course, like any other academy in Uganda, also do our part. There are so many academies now that have come up that are very good, doing a wonderful job. And when we look back, we said this is why we started this academy, and we are now seeing the fruits. And this holiday now, we are here continuing because we get an opportunity in the holidays to have more time. During the calendar school time, it's very difficult because our school curriculum and calendar, and I think policy, it's very difficult to get the kids when they are in school. But in the holidays, we get more time, so we work more with the boys. And that's all we are doing for now, continuing to develop, impact the skills, and also give them the modern methodologies of learning. We do not have a girls team as Proline because when you take on the girls, you must give them the very things you are giving the boys. The same facilities, the same motivation, the same setup, the same structure. And at the moment, it's very expensive for us, so we cannot afford dual structures. But in the boys that you see behind, there are many girls in there. From afar, you can't tell, but for us, we mix. We mix boys and girls, they train together until a certain level, then we channel them to proper teams. One of our products uh, is Sandra Nabweteme, who ranks as one of Uganda's greatest female player ever. Sandra Nabweteme, she's from this academy. And of course others who have gone to the US to play there. So we do have girls in the system, but they train alongside the boys. We have this camp where we are now, where we bring in now every holiday we try to bring the kids in for a residential camp. And this year's theme for the camp is improving player performance on and off the pitch. Now we have realized through our interaction with our European partners and counterparts that in Uganda for a long time we have ignored a very important aspect of football development. We only train boys the football skills on the pitch, and we do not develop the off-field skills, the life skills that they need to play football. And once you do that, our players will look very skillful, but they will lack ideas, they will lack the self the life skills that you need to play football. Hard work, determination, self-esteem, self-awareness, time management, all those things are life skills that a footballer needs. So now we have to now not only train the body, but also train the brain. For a long time in Uganda, we have only been training the body. But now, if a player cannot make the right decisions in the right time, if he cannot decipher decisions very quickly, if he cannot think on his own and be able to find solutions, they struggle to play the game, especially at the highest level, because that is what is expected of you. And we believe this is the reason why many of our players go to play outside at a high level, and 3 months later they send them back to us. It's because they lack these skills, the off-field skills. So the camp like this helps us to start to tackle that problem and find a solution by now trying to train the head, to train the behavior, to provoke the intelligence of the players, such that they can start to play through the brains onto the body. So this is what a camp like this helps us. Then in January, we will be, 3 of our teams will be going to Abu Dhabi for a Manchester City tournament for the youth. Our under 13s, 11 and 9 will go and participate now to expose them now to that kind of a level. Because if a player wants to play in Europe or play anywhere, it is important that they go to those places before that time comes. Otherwise, if they go when it's too late, 24, 25, and they are seeing all these things for the first time, they cannot play. This is the reason also why our players are coming back, because when you go to Egypt, the language is different, the food is different, the weather is different, the atmosphere is different. So you spend 6 months trying to deal with those problems, and directly they affect your performance on the pitch. So people decide and say this is not the one for us, because nobody has 6 months to give you to acclimatize to situations. The best way to do it is that slowly, as the kids are growing and they are doing their career early enough, 12 years, start to expose them to this kind of environment. So now, when they go to Abu Dhabi, the weather will be different, the food will be different, the language is different, the atmosphere is different. So later, when they play under 17 and they go to Egypt, they will not be phased. They will not see anything new. So, and that helps them to concentrate on the football. So now, in trying to expose them to such things, we are trying now to engage them to international tournaments, international trips and camps. In January, we were in Italy and Germany, again, to see a different kind of weather, different kind of environment. We went in winter, different food. So expose them to all different parts of the world, such that later in their career, when they get an opportunities, nothing is new. So we hope they will go and enjoy themselves in Abu Dhabi. We hope we can play matches with many people from different walks of life and different parts of the world to give us that experience that still is important in their growth. One of the biggest problems our football has is the lack of infrastructure. Lack of infrastructure is actually the biggest problem. Because when we talk about infrastructure, people think about the big stadiums like Nambole, like now Hoima, Nachivubo, and the likes. But for us who are in youth football, uh, our biggest problem is not the stadiums. Our biggest problem is safe environments, simple fields, access to coaches, access to simple facilities where kids can come and learn the skills. At this level, Proline cannot afford Hoima Stadium. We cannot play there because we cannot afford it. And it doesn't belong to academies also. But if we can have small fields, small, simple stadiums, municipal stadiums, district stadiums, regional stadiums, and also spaces at the village level, then that will help us. Because that's where the learning takes place. And at the moment in Uganda, we don't have those. So what do we need to do? In my view is we need to interest the schools to be part of the development of football in a more organized way, not by virtue of organizing tournaments and invite the schools to come, but to form partnerships between schools and communities and clubs. Why? Because schools are those only places now left that might have some bit of space, and not all schools, but those that have. That's why for us now, we are here at Holmes Darling Primary School, Gayaza, because the owners of the school have a belief that sports should go together with academics. What have they done? They have invested in facilities where we are here. We have a pitch, we have a netball pitch, we have a basketball pitch, we have a swimming pool. And the partnership now between us and Holmes Darling Primary School is allowing us now to expand services and bring in more young talent to develop it. But many schools are not doing this. Even those that are private and have very good facilities, they close them to communities, they close them to academies, they close them to tournaments of youth football. And if there is no policy that unites these people, we cannot do much. So that's why I want to thank the schools who are investing in sports. A school like Holmes Darling, for us, they welcomed us here and they have offered their facilities to develop talent of the kids in the school and those that are outside the school. So if many schools are doing this, they're doing partnerships, it is a stopgap measure before government comes in now to build mass infrastructure across the country. Also, we want to make an appeal to the government to have a new policy where sports is given the due respects that it deserves, it is given space and also time. Somebody should not start a school without showing government that they have space where kids can play. It should be part of the licensing. But now we see many schools that don't even have a compound. Yet kids must play. Yet kids must develop these talents. We are seeing many kids that are being employed. Our kids in the under 17 have just been at the World Cup. They made allowances that equal to about 16, 20 million Uganda shillings. If a 15-year-old can make 20 million shillings, then where he has made that money, there is something. If you dig deeper, if you look deeper, sports, football in particular, can be an answer to unemployment. But if the schools are not allowing space, allowing time for development of talent, then the country will lose out. The youth will lose out. Parents will lose out on their parents, on their kids who could use sports also as an avenue for a career. But right now, it is very difficult when the term is going on to get kids to play. The mindset is that sports kills academics. And that is such a very bad mindset. Yet in the developed world, we continue to see how sports is an employment industry, how sports is a uniting factor, how sports is a marketing tool for countries, for companies, for people, and all those. We can only benefit from the benefits of sports if as a country we can sit down and have a policy that favors the development and the dual career pathway for our young boys. They can do the education, but also develop their talents through schools, into the clubs, and also to the professional environment.